subjective information material. I hear a lot of opinions, I hear a lot of words. I would sincerely welcome the participation of anybody in the group here. There's a strong likelihood that some or all of what I'm saying you may disagree with, based on your training, based on your background, based on your experience. Love to engage in dialogue, if you have a different opinion, it will be beneficial to the group. A trial lawyer, as you know, wears many hats, performs many functions. I've always said that in my view, the best trial lawyers I've seen accomplish two primary qualities. Number one, they're teachers. Number two, they're salespeople. They're teachers because they take upon themselves the role of educating the finder of fact, educating the jurors as to what happened in a particular situation, giving them information, sharing with them details they can recall and use in having the case. They're salespeople because they're not just giving facts, they're giving facts with a point of view. They're giving facts in a way so as to persuade, so as to sell you their side of the story, their side of the case. Among the other roles that lawyers play in the trial setting, though, is the role of editor. Every lawyer who presents a case is an editor. He or she reviews, determines, analyzes information, and decides what it is that he or she is going to present to the jury, what is going to be used as the foundation for the finding of that jury. That is a role, in my estimation, vastly overlooked by a lot of people. In my experience, the way you can spot a bad trial lawyer or a very inexperienced trial lawyer is by the volume of information about the volume of witnesses and the volume of evidence they place before the panel. You may have heard the story, I'm not sure if it's apocryphal or not, but Charles gives a speech and it was all very well, and somebody compliments him and says, yeah, it went okay. I apologize, but I would have gone a lot shorter if I had more time to prepare. I take that same attitude, that same point of view coming to the trial perspective. It seems to me that the more you have, the more information you know about the case, the more the facts favor you, not the more witnesses you should call, the less witnesses you should call. The more you should focus on the role of the individual witness. Because every witness, no matter how favorable he or she looks on paper, or he looks on paper, is a potential time bomb if you come back and watch it. Every witness, no matter how well prepared, no matter how intelligent, no matter how qualified they may be, is a potential problem for you. You have to realize that. I'll give you a couple of examples. As a young public defender, I had a case that had to be tried. It was a burglary case with a theft. And the defendant had different tires. The plea officer pretty much approximated the maximum of the statute. We had no choice but to try the case. Facts of the case where somebody chimneys the door, close up business, so you can't. That's not trying to take what you can. Anyhow, the door is chimneyed open, somebody gets in, breaks into a register, they take cash, they take coins, and they leave. Across the street from the business, a woman hears commotion. She looks out, and she sees a fellow that she graduated high school with his hands full of stuff running down the street. She calls the police. It so happens a patrol car is a block away. The guy is stopped within 200 yards at the front of the store. He's got coins with him. He's got proceeds from the robbery. He's got a screwdriver in his back pocket. Somebody actually goes to time and trouble of matching up the prime mark in front of the door with the screwdriver. Lo and behold, it's fixed. An unwinnable case. Tried against an inexperienced prosecutor. Now, an inexperienced prosecutor wants to do two things. Primarily, he wants to win the case. He wants to win the case. Secondarily, if they can't do that, they're going to not be blamed for losing the case. And that's why you put a lot of evidence in. Nobody can blame them. 14 witnesses did it. Lost it. They heard it all. Every witness they heard it. It was all great. Well, what could happen? You could try the same case perhaps with 3 witnesses and get a result. This prosecutor is insecure. This prosecutor presented a pantheon of witnesses. And one of them had written in the report following the chase, brief chase, wrestled the guy to the ground, handcuffed him, arrested him, of course, they ran out in front of the car. And said he transported him down to the police administration building with his patrol vehicle. Well, there were about 5 police officers involved at the scene. This prosecutor called 4 of them. And by the time we were done on cross-examination, this was nothing working. This is just winging. The second witness that they called volunteers that he put the cuffs on the guy and drove him down in his patrol car to the police administration building. The next witness was the guy who put in his report. he had driven down the police administration building. I had two witnesses that say contrary things about a totally meaningless nonsense issue. Down the road, they called the fourth cop on the scene on cross-examination. I say something like, now, as I understand it, did you transport Mr. Jones to the prison? Yes, I did. We have nonsense, no legal case. We have three separate witnesses on the road that they transported the defendant down to the police administration building process. Now, I'm sure everybody here understands the critical importance of that issue. There's no importance whatsoever, meaningless. It's nonsense. It's crap. It's a waste of time. It's the ultimate red herring. On closing argument, I had nothing to say. I stood up and said, ladies and gentlemen, heard the evidence. It was compelling, remarkably detailed against my client. We heard about the screwdriver, we heard about the pry marks, we heard about the change in pockets, we heard about the passion of this person, we heard about the fact that he had a woman across the street that knew him from high school, allegedly. And it's very easy for you to go back, deliberate for a couple minutes, come back and find guilty. Do your job, you're done, go home. Except for one thing, ladies and gentlemen. Except for one thing. You know for a fact that at least two people came in before you, put your hands in the Bible, swore to tell the truth, and lied to you. Swore to God to tell the truth, and lied to you. Or maybe they did. Maybe I'm being unfair. Maybe I'm not being reasonable. Maybe I'm being problematic. Here's what may have happened. And ask me something. Do you think that my client was wrestled to the ground by these officers and somehow torn into three pieces? And one piece of my client went to Officer Jones' car, one piece of my client went to Officer Barrett's car, and the third piece was saved for Officer Emerson. Do you think that's what happened? Well, if you don't think that's what happened, if you don't believe that could have happened, don't think that's a real possibility, then you have to find the two officers came in here and lied to you. And if they lied about that, what else did they lie to you about? That was the summation as to that 15 minutes. This was the case solidly for about 3 hours, which was approximately 2 hours and 15 minutes from the needed. Ultimately, they found the guy guilty. I was tried. There was some evidence. I was struck that day, and I continue to be struck, on how bad a job it was by the prosecutor putting on multiple people to testify to nothing. There was no issue as to who took the bag out of town, no issue as to how many people were there at the time of the arrest, no issue as to the basic facts and all that case. That was a lesson to me I carried to this day. If you can get through a case quickly and easily and avoid issues, avoid contradictions, it's a good job. And any reasonably good cross-examiner will find contradictions. That's her job. Besides editing witnesses, you have to edit testimony. You've all dealt with police witnesses, either as prosecutors, as defense attorneys, many of you as both. And you know that some of the worst quality witnesses in the world can be police witnesses. I'm not being unfair. I was a prosecutor for 40 years. I admire and respect police officers. I have great respect for the job they do. But some of them are unreasonably bad witnesses. Some of them are very experienced. Some of them know exactly what they're doing in the street, in front of the courtroom, and they're just answering. And particularly the kind of witnesses you worry about are the ones that are police witnesses, but often experienced witnesses know everything. That's A. Or B, in the alternative, don't know anything for sure. What do I say know everything? Well, 2 years ago, the guy made an arrest and the trial was underway. He said, "The officer, where were you when you got the call that night?" "I was a quarter block from the intersection of 3rd and Main." Maybe you were, the outside chance you were, but there's no way to tell you remember that today. How long did it take you to pursue the defendant? 7 minutes. Maybe it took between 5 and 10, but you can't say on the road 7 minutes. And then you have the alternative to that, the opposite side of the coin to that. You have the officer who's been burned before on cross-examination. Were you on patrol that night? As I recall, I was. I believe so, yes. To the best of my knowledge, I was working on it, yes. I guess you guys have a report here from the vote, before you go, that's the guy who tries to, good chance you're working on it. I had a case one time, this is a hearing, pre-trial hearing, on the admissibility of a statement. And again, a case that had to be tried for reasons having nothing to do with the evidence. Bad guy, no kind of plea offer, gave a full confession. And I said, we've got nowhere to go with this. We'll have a challenging confession. We'll have a hearing challenging confession. Why? Well, because the guy threatened. How did he threaten? He took his gun out, and put it out, and he said, we can confess it, don't shoot. That's your position? That really happened. You're going to be able to be up there and explain it to the judge and take the stand and say that at the hearing? Yes. We have our hearing. The officer comes in, describes, shows the granted card, shows the granted sheet, describes consistent with his report, consistent with his grand jury testimony, exactly how the evidence unfolded, exactly how the arrest was made, exactly how the statement was obtained. On cross-examination, I got nowhere else to turn. I said, you described, officer, the manner in which you took the statement from my client. Is that right? Yes, sir. Isn't it true that before you took the statement, you took your weapon, your duty weapon, removed it from the holster, pointed it at my client, and told him if he didn't confess, he was going to have a problem with you? And the guy's answer was, I don't recall that stuff. That's not the answer. Okay? The judge is half asleep, the judge is up. I don't recall that stuff. Okay? So there are some things as a witness you better damn well be sure of, and some things you better not be sure of. If the officer gets a call from the diner, I don't expect he's going to recall how much you left for a tip. I don't expect he's going to recall how many eggs were left on the plate at the time the call came through. I don't expect he's going to recall the exact distance in feet between him and the scene of the crime. Okay? On the other hand, if there's an allegation of a statement made, an allegation of improper conduct, allegation of illegal use of force, I expect the officer is going to be able to say, in no uncertain terms, that did happen, sir, that did not happen, sir. No, sir, I never did that. That's false. Inaccurate. These are some of the issues that we deal with. And the more times you avoid calling a witness, you know one thing for sure, that witness that's not called can never hurt you. Every day we make assessments of people that we deal with. We do the same thing when you're choosing and preparing witnesses. I had a homicide case with an eyewitness one time. There was a terrific witness that had a recorded statement from the detective in which this witness gave a complete report of all the events, described what happened, how it happened, where she was standing, laid out the whole thing. I said, before we put this thing in trial, I want to sit down with the witness and spend some time with her. She's going to be the showpiece of our case. We use the medical examiner here, we use the police officer here, we use it. But the star of the show is going to be the witness. This is terrific. Bring her in. They brought her in, two detectives. I should have known something was wrong when they brought her in. So Jim, here she is, and they both left. Left me there as a witness. That was cool. Strangers, they hang around and spend some time. It took about 2 minutes to realize the woman was out of her mind. Just bouncing off the wall. Could not be controlled through questioning. I believe, in retrospect, I didn't know at the time, I believe she was a drug addict. I think she was one of those that day. I think she was going to withdraw that day. I was not getting any kind of sense from answering any question I asked. Refused it. 6 weeks later, she's on my witness list, of course. 6 weeks later, I have her statement sitting on counsel table with me for a week and a half, with things underlined, pages all ruffled together, markers, paper clips in there, markers, page markers. So trying to convince the other side that she's the witness I'm going to use as a showpiece of the case. At the end of the day, we can call her. Now, if that case had been lost, people might have come to me and said, that's a bad judgment. You had an eyewitness. Person with no criminal record, and you failed to use her, you failed to call her as a witness for the state, and as a result of your negligence, as a result of your bad judgment, this case was lost. So that's the risk that you had to take, because I knew from dealing with her that she was not going to be a helpful or effective case witness. I knew from dealing with her that she was going to be on the negative side of the ledger rather than the positive side of the ledger. I knew from dealing with her, it'd be like pulling the trigger grenade and walking away from it to put her in the stand. It's subjected to cross-examination of a very skilled defense attorney. It didn't take that skilled defense attorney long to realize who and what he was doing. You have to make a preliminary assessment as the kind of person that you want to put on the stand. The person who put on the stand represents you, represents your case, represents your side of the case, your side of the clause. One of the things you do when you compare witnesses, it seems to me, is you spend some time talking to them about the logistics of being a witness. It's important, Mr. Jones, that you get to the court on time, okay? Not only not to engage with a detective, you have to call. I'm going to call you the day before and say, we're going to meet on Wednesday, perhaps Thursday, get you here early, get a detective, you ride in the car, his car, and all set. I'm going to pick you up at work at TV, write letter to the boss, explain the meetings and how much I appreciate your assistance. And do all that. It's real important that you get there on time. It's real important that you get there looking like a very credible person that you are. I'm going to talk to you for a minute about how you dress. Now, it used to be easy. 30 years ago, it used to be easy to say, look, when you come to court, formal event, dress like you're going to church. Okay? Well, two things have happened in the last 30 years. People stop going to church, and the ones that did started dressing a whole lot different than they did when I was a relatively young man. So it seems to me you have to be very detailed and very pragmatic when you talk to people. You have to get in an insulting direction and try to make it sound insulting where it's the meaning. I represented a guy one time in our robbery case. I spent a lot of time with this guy, preparing him. And I said, what are you going to wear to court? He said, I'm all set. I said, my mom's house. He was in jail. I said, my mom's house. Brand new suit. I just got it. New tie, a little sharp. Being a novice at the time, I feel they asked me what color the suit was, what the style of the suit was. So I showed up the first day of trial, he was out of the holding area. He's wearing a white suit, with a white vest, white pants, patent leather black shoes, and a white tie and a black dress shirt. Okay? It's like Saturday Night Live meets the Touchmans. Saturday Night Fever meets the Touchmans. It's just bizarre. I couldn't tell you, it was very proud to walk out and see, I told him this. It's terrific. We weren't communicating on a fundamental level. He told me he was wearing a suit coat at the time, and what he was dressed in, as far as he was concerned, was completely appropriate for the day. It wasn't appropriate from my standpoint. It wasn't what I was looking for. You try to assess the poise of a witness, the kind of person that you're dealing with. You try to assess the likability of that witness and the credibility of that witness. And there's some people who are inherently likable. Big smile on the face, they make people well, they themselves in a very good way, but they're not credible people. You don't necessarily believe what they have to say. They're not necessarily reliable as far as a primary fact is concerned. The likability is a secondary characteristic. Credibility or believability is a primary characteristic. A lot of people say to me, I guess you weren't really intelligent witnesses, you don't often find them. But the second part is true. I don't often find really intelligent witnesses. Not too many cardiac surgeons, on their way making their office hours at 2 a.m., use street homicides in Canada. Not my experience, that doesn't happen. I don't necessarily want people who are right. I don't necessarily want people who are going to go there and match wits, and try to match wits with the defense attorney on cross-examination. I want people who are able to take direction and who will listen. I want people, whether they're very bright, a little bit bright, or not so bright, have the ability to think on their feet and listen and respond. One of the things I'm always conscious of, and try to be conscious of preparing witness, is the rhythm of testimony. You see a good direct examination has a rhythm to it. Question, answer, question, answer, question, answer. As a cross-examiner, the one thing I know I'm going to do, I might fail doing anything substantive, but the one thing I know I'm going to do is to square the rhythm of the testimony. I know it's not going to be question, answer, question, answer. I'm going to at least give this witness something to think about, something to pause on, something to delay. in the minds of the jurors, that could be substantial. Because there's nothing else I can say to the jury on his record. Remember Mr. Orlando? Mr. name, ladies and gentlemen? Remember he was on direct testimony for about 45 minutes? Ms. Winters asked a series of questions. And gee, every question she asked, had the answer also, had the answer ready, except for this time. Every question, it's perfect. It was just a beautiful bit of testimony. Didn't miss a beat, didn't miss a cue in all the testimony. How about cross-examination? See something different? See him squirm? See him pause? See him roll his eyes once or twice? Did you see him looking over my shoulder to try to catch Ms. Winters' eye? What's that all about? Looking for direction, looking for clue, looking for cue. What's that all about? And so I think this is true of the rhythm and the timing testimony. I don't know myself. I'll tell you a story about, I'll tell you a story about a homicide case I tried many years ago. And a guy gave maybe the best direct I've ever heard. I was trying to do a capital murder. He takes his stand with unforgettable details. He's sitting there 4 weeks of jury selection, 2 weeks of trial. Now he's been called to the defense. He stands up and I count the table and goes like this with back. Rolls his shoulders, buttons his fur coat, and strolls up to the witness stand. I can't believe that. I can't believe the guy is that happy with body language. He got up and gave the best direct I've ever heard. Every question, every answer. I said, well, I'm going to go to this guy. The guy hasn't been in a fire statement. I have nothing in the other statements, the investigation, really contradicts everything. I'm hearing his story here now for the first time. This is the first time I've ever heard his version of the facts, his version of the events. I'm stumbling looking for a toehold, looking for a place I can kind of make an inroad of some sort. And I finally said to him, sir, you described to us in detail your actions and conduct on the night of the murders. Yes. You told us at the time of the murder you were standing in the corner with Mr. Smith, Mr. Jones. Yes, that's right. You told us that earlier that day, a couple hours before the murder, you were in that same corner. Is that right? Yes. Who were you with, sir? Who were you with 2 hours earlier? Who? Taking it back. Not knowing, I had no idea who he was with. Not knowing, he made no difference in the world who he was with. Only knowing he's being pressed on a question, I said it in such a way, it sounded like it was written. And the guy pauses. As he pauses, I go to the counsel table. I just started lightly drumming my finger on the counsel table, preparing for the jury. I let the passage of time. He said, sir, you understand my question? The guys that doing this bodies, okay, here comes the lifeboat. I'm going to throw it out there, you're going to grab it, and supplement the very short. He says, no, I don't understand the question. What don't you understand about it, sir? The question is, who are you with? What don't you understand about that? Dead silence again. What's that do? What don't you understand about it, sir? I just don't understand. Let me ask the question this first. The word who, W-H-O, who, do you understand that? Word, W-E-U-R-E, do you understand that? The word you, Y-O-U, do you understand that? So you, the word with, do you understand that? I'm going to ask you for the benefit of this jury. Use of kind. Let's put those words all together and tell this jury, who were you with? Answer. I don't know what to call it. Now, that was a fundamental change in that guy's testimony. Because no matter what I asked him after that, he had no idea what the answer was, had no idea how to answer it. A non-important, non-fundamental, non-significant area he wasn't prepared on, he wasn't expecting. All of a sudden, all hell is breaking loose and he can't stop. Hold the dam, you can't seem to plug it up. Just stumbled upon it. Now, I have seen lawyers, very good lawyers, one that will treat it in kind and reasonable. say, sir, do you understand that question I just asked you? Not understand. Let me repeat. Let me rephrase. It's my fault, sir. Let me rephrase. But sometimes it is your fault. You and I have all had the same experience. We put your transcripts of events and read what we've said. So, yeah, I guess that answers your question. It makes no sense at all. The grammar's bad, syntax is bad. The thing about it is nonsensical. That's what I said. Kind of a jerk. But sometimes, even as lawyers, we ask good questions that make sense. And in my experience, you don't get out of the hook. You don't give him an opportunity to think. It's all about timing. It's all about having the opportunity to go in a certain direction, make a choice. Has to go one way, has to go the other way. Do I want a necessarily right witness? No, I don't want it to educate. Now, many of the people I have seen who do a good job of preparing witnesses will overboard in one area. They scare the hell out of the witness that comes to the cross-examination. You gotta watch this cross-examine. Mr. Brian is very tough. She's going to come down like a ton of bricks. Just be careful. She's going to be laying away for you. And you do far enough direct, it's not a problem. One of them are going to be good. Be careful what you're doing. That's very important. Can't you understand? Just intimidate and scare the hell out of the witness. Then the witness sees Mr. Brian come on, well, it says no. Because he's been told this is a formidable person. He's going to put the screws to him, put the wood to him, and embarrass him in front of the camera. So if the lawyer is going to do that, she's going to do it anyway, without you helping her out, like predisposing the witness to his failure. I want a witness who will listen to the question. I don't want a scripted witness. I can tell you a true story. I was less than a year at law school. I was carrying a Frank Hartman flag, a federal larceny case over in Philadelphia. For those of you who don't know, Frank Hartman is the dean of South Jersey Attorneys for years. Probably in the mid-'80s, when I survived. Trying to case of Frank was killer across the memory. And I had a case where there was a federal informant who was on the stand on direct 2.5 days testimony. And every question for 2.5 days was read verbatim by the assistant U.S. attorney from the legal path. Go through the questions, turn it over. Go through the questions, turn it over. For 2.5 days, every question. And it was a good performance, except for a couple of things. The lawyer asking questions, the federal prosecutor, is not listening intently to the answers. So things like this started happening. Mr. Jackson, so direct your attention to November 13th of that year. Did you see Charles Smith at that time? Yeah, I saw Charlie Smith along with Joe and Vito and a fellow named Frank at Jack's restaurant. Where did you see him, sir? I think it was Jack's restaurant. South Philadelphia. Was anyone with you? You mean besides? You know, was anyone with you? Who was there? It's very confusing. Very confusing. Because the script is not being followed. And of course, we call him Bobby Simone, a very prominent mob lawyer in Philadelphia, now deceased. And Simone takes the first crack at this government informant examination. He says to him, now, sir, I'm going to ask you some questions. It might be a little difficult for you. I don't have a script.